Hey, what's up guys? It's Thomas from Trak Racer here, and today we're going to be discussing the Simucube 3 as well as the previous Simucube 2, going over all of the similarities and differences, what you can expect if you do purchase a Simucube 3 as well as the other models. We have the Pro here as well as the Simucube 2 Pro, so let's get into it. To kick things off, we're actually pretty fortunate enough to have had the Simucube 3 Pro here in the office for about 2 to 3 months now, so plenty of time to test it across, your mainstream games like your iRacing, F1, Assetto, LMU. A lot of fun here in the office getting to try this thing out, especially early days. We know a lot of people have been wanting to get their hands on this. It's been out for a while now, so we thought it would be a good chance to kind of go over all the features, what's changed since release, and just kind of give you guys an insight into the product overall. What are the differences between the 3 and the 2, and should you upgrade? Do you want to upgrade? And just more so going over general questions you might have before making that purchase or that change. So starting off with the basics, in terms of the obvious, the shape of it, it hasn't gone too far away from the previous 2 model, keeping that rectangular shape. Obviously on the 2, we have these cutout divots on the sides, whereas with the 3, we just have more of that solid unit. Moving to the back of the product, however, is where you'll find a lot of the difference. The Simucube 3 having that very simple, minimalistic triple setup for your cables, where it just sits very flush with the Simucube logo. Whereas with the Simucube 2, obviously you have your power button, you have your adapters, you have your power cords, your torque, you also have an antenna, as well as a lot of the text on the back. It's just a lot cleaner of a design. It doesn't really change too much in terms of functionality. Getting onto the functionality, however, with the Simucube 2, we have the option for the front mounting here with these 4 screw holes. On the Simucube 3, that has still stayed the same. However, they have given us the option to bottom mount it now as well with these 2 slides that come with the 4 T-nuts to allow for bottom mounting, which obviously just adds a little bit of accessibility and movement in terms of customization of your rigs, which is a nice little add-on. I don't think there's really anything to complain about on that front. So if we now move to the front of the Simucube 3 product, we will now see the new mounting option that they have for the front of the wheelbase. This is the introduction of their light bridge technology, which allows for contactless power as well as data transmission, comparing it to the 2 where we just have the slot for your quick release that you can just slide in and out that gets held in with the pin. As they put it on their website with this brand new Simucube 3, everything just works, and honestly, so far we have found nothing wrong with that. It is great as it says, everything does just work. Heading towards the actual overall of these 2 products, the Newton meter range hasn't shifted too much. However, I guess go over the 2 and the 3. The 2 Sport caps out at 17 Newton meters, the 2 Pro caps out at 25 Newton meters, and the 2 Ultimate caps out at 32 Newton meters. With the 3 Series, the Sport caps out at 15 Newton meters, the Pro once again at 25 Newton meters, and the Ultimate at 35 Newton meters. So if you're in that 0.001% of people that want that full arm and shoulder workout, maybe the Simucube 3 change, allowing those 3 extra Newton meters up to 35 is exactly what you need for your sim setup. For my case, I am more than happy with the Pro and even the Sport. So you might be wondering what actually is the difference then between the 2 Series as well as the 3. Well, the 3 has a brand new motor now that allows for more precise and smooth industry-leading feedback. But what does that actually mean, and how does it actually shape up to the 2 in terms of testing? Over the past couple of months, as mentioned earlier, a bunch of us in the office have had our hands on this and put in plenty of laps, so we are going to break that down for you. So I think one of the main things that we noticed when we were racing with the Simucube 3 is that we were able to feel and pick up on a lot of the back of the car when we were losing grip, and being able to control that a lot easier when with the 2, the sliding was just happening a little bit more predominantly. Whether that is just a skill issue of ours on our turns or overall just a motor feel, we'll leave that up to you guys when you test these things yourselves. I guess building off that point though, that was almost an instantaneous difference that we felt when we were using this. The addition of the telemetry force feedback, having the addition of the force feedback without having to actually mess with any of your wheelbase settings is an absolute game changer for those of you who also like to, be able to look at things on the go and make those changes. The addition of the low frequency effect feedback makes for an incredible feedback delivery. Another great addition of the 3 Series is the brand new emergency stop design that they have included. It allows you to change the feedback at literally the ease of a twist of a dial, rather than having to constantly tab in and out to change the feedback settings through the original tuner app. Just a great little accessibility add-on that they've made just at the ease, you know, depending if you have it mounted front facing, you can just lean forward, or just on the top where it's just reaching over the top. It just allows for a lot quicker on the go feedback change rather than just having to pause or, you know, wait until the end of your race or session, etc. Overall, it's just a very nice, simple, small design. Even the metallic finish, or the matte metallic finish rather, on the button as well is pretty nice. So touching on the actual feedback settings as well, we will discuss the Simucube 3.0 tuner application. We see a complete overhaul in the 3.0 software with a much softer and, I guess, smoother UI design that allows for improved navigation as well as more adjustment for the wheelbase themselves. I guess the overall biggest accessibility change that they have made to the 3.0 app is actually being able to manually type in the numbers you want rather than fighting for that pixel perfect slider. Greatest thing about the wheelbase settings is the fact that you can now go into the effect shaping, which allows you to tune the detail, the overall detail, the aggressiveness, and the responsiveness. This pretty much allows you to get that exact minute adjustment for how intense you want that, you know, let's say you're going for 20 Newton meters, how intense or soft you want 20 to feel. I know that kind of sounds like a bit paradoxical just because you're like, well, how can 15 feel different from 15? But just the fact that you can actually fine tune down to that very small margin just allows for pretty much, as they say, the most precise feeling that you can get out of a wheelbase. And finally, they've also stated that the Simucube 3.0 telemetry has also been extended across more titles. So after looking and comparing these two behemoths of wheelbases, I guess another important thing to go over, in fact, is the cost of these two products. So the Simucube 2 Pro right now will set you back at $12.99 USD, when the Simucube 3 Pro will set you back at $15.99 USD. One thing to add is that you will need the Simucube Link Hub, which is also an extra $100 if you do wish to run this product. So overall, just a $400 price increase. As mentioned at the start, they both do provide that same Newton meterage. So if you are looking to, you know, hit that 25 mark and you have the Simucube 2 Pro, you can go with that. If you are looking for something a little bit more prestige and updated, something a little bit more robust, even though the 2 is already very robust, this right here is an absolute tank, and you probably won't need anything else other than this ever again. Overall, as with all Simucube products, you are getting a very solid and robust piece of technology that will be able to handle all of your sim racing needs. I do not doubt that from what we've tested here in the office. Whether you do stay with the 2 if you are a current 2 user, or a 3. I will say, in terms of budget, if you are, you know, just on that cusp and, you know, you can afford the Simucube 2 Pro and you're not sure if the 3 is the one for you, I will say a lot of people will be more than okay with just the 2. This is more for if you are looking for that top of the market upgrade and you do want to use, you know, this new Lightbridge technology that they have. Allows for way less cabling. The back is a lot more clean in terms of your cabling at the bottom here. We sell this on our website as well, so if you want to pick these up, make sure you head to trakracer.com and you can pick up some of the new Simucube 3 series. As always, we hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.